Oh my God, what's happening over here? I got rents over here. I got rents over there. Two 3.49. All right, we are live. Today we have a deal. Finally, 7626 86th Street, Lubbock, Texas, 79424. 2.875% interest rate. It's a great interest rate. The entry fee is $26,000. Built in 2016, a 3-bed, 2-bath. Let's see. So $5,000 to the cash to seller. Let's keep adding some numbers in. While I was loading, I was adding numbers in already. So $5,000 cash to seller. We have 6652.36 in arrears, 6652.36 in arrears. And then for commissions and assignments, we have 4815.90 plus another $10,000 in assignment fee. Boom. Looks like there's some closing costs right there. So I'll leave at 2.5%, which is going to include the TC fees, EMD for $5,000. Underlying FHA loan for $188,035. So I'm gonna put that one right in there. You guys can kind of see me punch it in. 188,035, and then we have 2.875%. Just punch that in. I backed into the origination date because it says the maturity date was 10/1/2051. So I just subtracted 30 years from that. And then there's another loan for solar. So the solar's loan was $40,600, 3.49% interest rate, and the payment is $210.69. Okay. So I want to just go ahead and plug in a few numbers over here. So what is this? It's listed. Let's see. Analyzing that one tomorrow. Is listed for 265 equals 265. Doesn't matter what it is really listed for, but for the most part, it looks pretty turnkey. Let me look at this property really quick. There's the solar. Flooring looks great. Kitchen looks great. I might set aside some money to paint the place. Maybe you gotta replace the carpet. You don't really know what the condition of the carpet might be in right now, but we can assume that's pretty decent. Oh, there's a above ground pool here. Interesting. Okay. So what I want to do at least is let's back into the payments that we just got from here. So the cash to seller. Let's see, that's in there. So the PITI is 1641.39. So I'm going to go to the property tax section equals 1641.39. Now I'm subtract the principal. I'm subtract the interest. What's my current total payment for solar? So current total payment for solar is $210. So I'm missing about, see how this says $182 right here for this solar payment? I'm just going to mess around the numbers to increase the payments a little bit. 25 years. Does that make it better? 203, 210. Let's go lower the term to 20 years. 235. Cool. That's going to make it a little bit higher. The whole point of this is just for me to figure out and gauge whether or not this is a deal that's worth my time or spending more time on. Now, in full disclosure, this person already said, hey, Section 8 rents is $1,551. The long-term rental rents is $2,000. When I look at that, right, I want to assume that this is not a deal because usually if I assume the PITI plus the solar loan is already at 1641, that's 1841, 1851. After I take apart just 10% for maintenance, that already brings me into a negative cash flow of, because my remaining funds after taking 10% off 2000 is going to be 1800, right? So normally I would stop analyzing the deal right here. Okay, that's the reason I haven't done a street drive-by, which is what I normally do. And the whole point of going through this exercise is to show you all how to save yourself time so you don't burn out from analyzing all these deals. But for the sake of this deal and for the sake of the exercise, because I know all of you are watching for the entire process, let's go through it so you can prove it out to yourself, right? So if we went ahead and went through our normal process, we would go through a street view and just try to figure out when it's a nice neighborhood. This looks like a pretty solid neighborhood here. Probably like a new build, subdivision, tons of properties here. So boom, looks great. Now, the next thing we want to do is we would have looked at the county for this. And this property is in Lubbock County. So when you Google HUD FMR, you can click on the first link, and then you will be able to find the small area FMR, FY 2024 FMR, go to Texas, and we got Lubbock County. Once you go to Lubbock County, you're going to see by zip code 79424, 79424, you see that the rent, the maximum rent for a 3-bedroom property in the zip code is $1,550. So that's the ceiling rent. And now the ceiling rent, $1,550, is actually lower than what they said the market rents are, which is not ideal, right? So if you think your maximum rent is $1,550, you definitely cannot cash flow on this property. Now, when I plug in the property address in affordablehousing.com to get the market rents, boom, 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 we're going to put in 3 beds. We're going to see what the market rents are. Because usually when you come to Section 8 rents, there's a rent reasonableness test, which means that you can only take the rent and charge the rent for what is reasonable within this area. If you remember correctly, right, the FMR that we just saw was $1,550. Here we see that the market rent, average market rent for 25 units within a 0.62 mile radius, that market rent is $1,629, which means when I see the lower of the two, comparing $1,550 to $1,629, the maximum rent I'm going to be able to charge is $1,550 because that's the lower of the two numbers. Simple enough, right? So when I underwrite this property, I'm going to underwrite using $1,550 because that's the FMR I got. $1,550. All right. This is 79424. Let me update the zip code right here. 79424. All right. Now that I plugged in my PITI of 1641.39, I subtracted that. I got all my expenses in for 10% for my maintenance, 10% for my property management. I can even lower this to 8%. Let's do that. Let's lower it to 8% and see what happens. Boom. This is a really nice neighborhood. I can even be a little bit more aggressive here and put it at 3% vacancy. And even I assume my rehab's $4,000. I didn't even plug in the rehab estimates yet based on the square footage. But if you assume I'm only going to set aside some money to paint the place at 1,709 square feet, 1,709 square feet, boom, 1,709 and $3 a square foot. That's going to give me a $6,700 rehab, which is probably going to be more than enough. At the end of the day, this number is what I care most about. At its current rent of $1,550, using all the existing creative finance scenarios as a subject to loan deal, this is negative 687 cash flow. This is a negative 20.7% cash and cash earn, so $265,000. Now, this does not mean it's not a deal It just means that it's not a deal if you were to pursue the affordable housing exit strategy, specifically Section 8 for this deal. And that's because Section 8 has listed that the maximum rent for this property is $1,550, which this person disclosed, which I really, really appreciate that they already did the research for me. So for me, next time, I'm going to trust this person's post, and I'm not going to waste my time if I see that the Section 8 rent is lower. This is really, really good thing to do for your own reputation if you are a wholesaler. If I have experience of looking at your posts, seeing that you post one, the right amount of details, which I love this breakdown right here, and I love the cash to seller, made my underwriting a lot easier. But you also told me exactly what the Section 8 rents are, right? This is the whole point of me listing out what the rents are for my own partners, because I'm trying to save them time so that they don't have to do all that research. This person, by posting this deal right here, he's saving me a ton of time from having to do my own research. And that's why I really like posts like this with the right amount of details, because now I can quickly understand whether or not this deal is worth my time of investigating further. So even though I put in all my own numbers, I still arrive at the same conclusion that I did 10 minutes ago, which is when I looked at a PITI plus the payment from the solar, and I compared that to this person's Section 8 rent right here, I now know for sure it's not a deal. Me going through this exercise of analyzing this whole deal on a spreadsheet is to prove it out to you how I knew this wasn't a deal from the get-go. But I would have stopped right here just from looking at the deal. This is to prove it out so that you understand exactly what the process might look like for yourself when it comes time for you to analyze the deal on your own. Because once you do this 3 or 5 times, you're going to figure out, okay, this is enough information for me. And this person did a really good job of laying out all the details. So I'm going to trust this person, and I'm no longer going to analyze a deal that's not worth my time and avoid burning out analyzing deals that are not worth my time. Cool. Hopefully this was awesome. I really liked how this person analyzed, listed the deal and marketed it. Props to him and his team. I have great respect for him. I know this person personally. I met him in person. So I really love it. And that's it for today. This is day 127. Stay consistent with me, everyone. Analyze the deal with me every single day. Put it on your own YouTube channel. And most importantly, stay consistent. Build this habit, because all it takes is 18 minutes a day for you to underwrite a deal. And if you do it for 365 days, that would have been 100 hours. And that would make you better at underwriting deals than 95% of America. Thank you so much for caring about affordable housing. Thank you so much for being part of this community. We're going to be back here again tomorrow, analyzing deals all over again. And we're going to keep it up. Let's see how long we can go to keep this up for. But I'm so glad you guys are all doing this with me. And I hope you guys will put it on your own YouTube channel, because that's how you're going to be able to create your own track record and develop your own confidence to pull the trigger when that deal comes across your plate. Thank you so much. Have an amazing night, and let's get ready to start the week, everybody.